What should professional truck drivers know before they buy a thermoelectric cooler to keep perishable food cold? Hello, I'm Vicki Simons with TruckDriversMoneySavingTips.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about thermoelectric coolers based upon the experience that my husband Mike and I had with them. And when I say them, I do mean multiple units, and also some observations that I've made along the way, primarily when Mike was driving originally and I was a passenger with him. Okay, first of all, why would you buy one in the first place? And that is because you want to keep some perishable food cold. Okay, I talked about the ice chest or the ice cooler last week, and I have one more of these perishable food keeping cold type devices. Okay, I'm going to be talking about compact refrigerators or in-truck refrigerators next week, but tonight I want to cover the topic of thermoelectric coolers. So you want to be able to keep perishable food cold, and when I talk about perishable food, I'm talking about things like meat, dairy products, fruit, vegetables, milk, the type of things that you want to keep cold, the types of things that you would keep cold at home if you were eating a standard diet. Now, what would you do if you didn't have a device to keep perishable food cold? Well, then you would have to limit yourself to either getting that on an as-needed basis, for example, going in on perhaps a daily basis to a truck stop or some other kind of a store in order to get those perishable foods, or simply go without. Okay, or you can eat in a restaurant. But the thing about it is when Mike and I were just starting out in trucking, a device to keep food cold and a portable toilet were among our musts. Okay, those were the two non-negotiable essentials that we required in our truck. So we tried the thermoelectric cooler first. Okay, when we started our truck driving career, the only place to put a thermoelectric cooler in that truck that we were issued, and the number of trucks thereafter, okay, was in a cabinet down on the floor. There was a little place there to store one behind the driver's seat, okay, on the floor in the cabinet. Okay, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the thing about it is you got to understand what the principles are for the usage of a thermoelectric cooler. It is designed, at least they were at that time, technology may have changed, but they were designed to bring the temperature of the interior down to 40 degrees below whatever the exterior temperature was around it. So you can imagine if you need to keep your food at, say, 40 degrees or below in a refrigerator, maybe even 45, but primarily 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below, okay, and if it is if a thermoelectric cooler is designed to bring the temperature down, you cannot get any warmer than about 80 degrees outside of the thermoelectric cooler. Well, what happens if you can't idle your truck, or if you don't have an APU to provide climate control inside your truck, and you are in Phoenix, Arizona in a 110 degree day? Okay, I'll tell you very quickly what happened, all right? We had such a situation, and of course we were driving for Swift at the time. Phoenix, Arizona is their headquarters. Okay, the temperature in the thermoelectric cooler got up above the prescribed temperature that we wanted it to, and everything in there spoiled. Absolutely, we lost the entire amount of perishable food in there, and not only that loss, but just the food stank to high heavens. It was horrible. But anyway, a thermoelectric cooler is not a true refrigerator. It does not have a refrigerant like a refrigerator does. Okay, you also have to have some way of being able to power the thing. Okay, so if this is a 12-volt appliance, as most of them are, I know of no AC powered inverter, AC powered thermoelectric coolers out there. Okay, but if you're going to be powering this thing, you have to have some juice from which to draw from your truck. Okay, theoretically, okay, if you're going to be, for example, going into if you're going to be laid over for a period of time and you're not going to be idling your truck, that power could be drawing down. The charge on your batteries could be in jeopardy. Okay, so anyway, let me read to you a quote This used to be on the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service. Okay, it's been removed now, but this was at the time that I wrote this page on our website, and I will provide the link to you after this broadcast is over. This is what they said. Bacteria grow most rapidly in the range of temperatures between 40 degrees and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, doubling in number in as little as 20 minutes. This range of temperatures is often called the danger zone. That's why the Meat and Poultry Hotline advises consumers to never leave food out of refrigeration over 2 hours. If the temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, food should not be left out for more than 1 hour. A temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit should be maintained in the refrigerator. Safe food handling practices are a good defense against foodborne illness because we know how different temperatures affect the growth of bacteria in our food. We can protect ourselves and our families from foodborne illnesses by proper handling, cooking, and storing foods at safe temperatures. Okay, obviously, because a thermoelectric cooler is unable to keep a constant temperature inside, you're going to have these fluctuations, all right? Also, one of the things that I observed personally was that there are a lot of replacement parts for various brands of these thermoelectric coolers in a lot of truck stops. Okay, you can look at our website, specifically this thermoelectric cooler page, and look and see all the different brands and all the different parts, everything from fuses and cords to motors. All right, and we went through, I think this website said that we went through four different units. Okay, we were trying to be very frugal. All right, and finally we just basically gave up. We needed to have something that was going to keep a more constant temperature, and that's why we ended up going with next. It was the compact refrigerators, and I'll talk more about that next week, Lord willing. But you got a situation where we eventually went with ice coolers or ice chests because they were more consistent. Okay, so did the location where we had our thermoelectric cooler pose a problem? Okay. You got a situation where as this unit is putting off warm air because it's trying to cool it, okay, and if it's trapped inside this this cabinet, okay, was that airspace in the cabinet getting warmer and warmer and contributing to the demise of these units? Very possible. But where else were we going to put it, okay? We were a team. We could not put this thing on the bed, okay, or even the top bunk because we were going to, that just didn't work, okay? We couldn't strap it into the passenger seat, as I know some professional truck drivers do, and that raises another issue, okay? If you're going to keep your thermoelectric cooler on the passenger seat, okay, yes, it's going to have the ability to breathe, so to speak. It's not going to be trapped like the cabinet thing. Cabinet storage area, but all right, will the sun coming in the windows, the windshield in the passenger window, okay, will that heat, all right, pose a problem for you? Okay, whenever you turn off your truck, for example, to do fueling, or if you're going to be going in for a shower, or you see what I'm saying, if there's no climate control that's keeping the temperature inside your cab constant, okay, and the sun's beating in, that could pose a problem for food safety as well. Okay, let me go down here and I'm going to read to you some tips. All right, also some thermoelectric coolers, they have, when you reverse, okay, the cord or the way that the plug is plugged in, it could actually be a warming device, so you want to be aware of that. All right, obviously a lot of truck stops, or at least they have in the past, sold a lot of these. All right. Also, these units, at the time that we priced them, when we started out, they were well over $100. They may have dropped in price, so it can be very expensive to replace these things in totality, okay? And basically, they're not designed for longevity, okay? If you run into a situation where a brand of thermoelectric cooler says that it only has maybe a 30, 60, or 90-day warranty, run. Do not walk, okay? They're not worth a grain of salt, Okay. All right. If you decide to buy a thermoelectric cooler, shop around for the best price based on features. Okay. Truck stops tend to sell them and replacement parts at a premium price. You may be able to find units less expensively through discount or department stores. I found some units listed on a popular price comparison website, and of course when you buy anything online you need to factor in the cost of shipping in your overall cost. All right, you may wish to compare these features: size, that is the capacity, maybe how many quarts or gallons it would hold. I said it's usually stated in the number of quarts. The position, whether it is vertical or horizontally mounted, the warranty and the return policy, and the accessibility of replacement parts. Furthermore, I said you would be well advised, if you're going to be having one of these units in your truck, to have a stash of non-perishable foodstuffs in your truck in case your unit bites the dust and all of your perishable food spoils. Without a backup food supply, you'll most likely be stuck with having to buy either restaurant meals or overpriced foodstuffs from a truck stop travel store. You may want to use, and we have a compare compact refrigerators download on our website. Consider also that a thermoelectric cooler is not a freezer and is not designed to keep ice frozen. So, for example, if you've got this this motor, okay, that's drawing the water, the warm air out, if you get water in that because you laid down, something, and you put ice in there, that's not designed to keep that ice cold either. Okay, you'll have to arrange for a different device like an ice chest to keep ice in your truck if that's what you want to do. We like having lots of ice in our drinks, so we also had to have, in addition to that, we had to have a small ice chest. So we eventually went with a large ice chest, which I showed you last week, okay, in order to be able to keep not only our perishable food cold, but also ice to put in our drinks. Okay, I've fairly exhausted this subject for tonight. I will be putting the link to this page underneath in the comments when I'm done. I do want to ask you, pro or con, if you've had good success or you've had lousy success, I want to hear from you. I want you to please submit a product review through TruckDriversMoneySavingTips.com. Go to the product reviews link and actually list, give us some feedback, give us some specifics. What was the brand, what happened, what were your circumstances, various things like I've talked about tonight. Where did you have it in your truck, where were you storing, how long did the unit last, this kind of thing. I need some specifics, please. Whatever, pro or con, and if you've had good success with one brand, bad success with another, feel free to write 2 different reviews for us. However many you've gone through. That would be helpful to our readers in general. It wouldn't just be our thumbs down advice towards others. If you've had good success, we want to hear. If you've had bad success, let us know as well. Okay, this is Vicki Simons with TruckDriversMoneySavingTips.com. If you have found value in this video, I'd appreciate your likes, shares, and hearts. If you have any comments, feedback, questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. Either leave a comment under this video or please get in touch with us through our website, and we would love to be able to hear from you, okay? And eventually we're planning on putting this video up on YouTube too, so you can also leave us a comment that way. All right? Until next time, as always, my husband Mike and I wish you safe travels and lots of money-saving opportunities on the road. Have a great night, drivers. Thanks.